it's 1979 in here. We're talking about online. We're not playing the music this week, Duke. The music is playing now. Well, how am I supposed to know that? This is the wonderful thing about live streaming, right? So tonight, you guys know that Duke normally opens the show with playing music and saying his little words, and I just got thrown under the bus. So music is playing in his ear. We have two amazing guests. Can you put the film on for us, Duke, so I can know what's going on the TV? Thank you. So we're gonna edit this a little bit. You're turning the camera. I'm still looking at our proposed candidate Marlon Rice on the TV screen, right?
I hear the music.
And the music is still playing. So technically, we can't start yet.
Yep.
Yes, he's Senate seat in the 25th district, I do believe.
Yeah.
Right?
That is
Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna restart this show. I think the music has ended. We have a full house tonight, and tonight we actually have air conditioning. Isn't that exciting? Oh my goodness. So welcome. I am Donnatella of MyHungryWorld. This is Community Cuts VK.
I am Rickie James.
Yes.
Yes.
And what did you say you're a member of, Rickie?
Papa.
He's a member of Papa. And what is Papa?
It's a political organization with the Democratic Party.
Oh, so Rickie is showing off. I don't have that affiliation, but today we have two amazing guests, and we're going to jump right in. This is an election year. What are you guys supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be making sure that you're ready to vote. Early voting starts, I think it's like June 17th.
June, yes.
June 17th, like that. Make sure that you're registered. And first, we're going to jump all the way to District 56, and I'm going to let our guest introduce herself. I am so afraid that I'm going to say her name incorrectly. District Leader Kenésha Traynham-Cooper.
Yes, you got it right. You got it right. Everyone doesn't do that the first time.
Excellent, excellent. So we are spinning the camera over to you. Why don't you do me a favor? Repeat for yourself your name, the district you're running to, and anything you would like our viewers to know.
Okay, so my name is Kenésha Traynham-Cooper. I am the 56th Assembly District Leader, State Committee member, and I am running for re-election. I'm also one of the vice chairs for the New York State Democratic Party.
All right.
I mentioned that earlier.
That's a clap. Y'all can't hear me. I'm clapping off camera. And so as we talk about you running for re-election, I am certain from what I've heard that you've done an absolute amazing job in your district. Would you like to share with our viewers what are some of your primary concerns for your district?
So there, I have a list of concerns.
Okay.
So we can't be here that long. But what I can say is I love my district, Bedford-Stuyvesant and Northern Crown Heights. We are building, and we are continuously rebuilding, I believe. And for sure, number one thing that we always let people know, my job is to make sure that we are informing our constituents and letting them know how important it is to vote.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Amen. Especially after that last presidential election where 85 million people did not vote. And so as you prepare to let your constituents know that they should be voting, can you tell people how can they make sure they're registered to vote in your district?
Yeah. Well, number one, you can come and see me.
There you go. And
Number one.
Where can they find you?
You can find me you can find me in different places. First, my office is at Vanguard Independent Democratic Association. That's 399 Tompkins Avenue and Jefferson Avenue. You'll be able to see myself and my co-leader, Mr. Henry Butler, in the window, along with Dr. Robinson, Brother Alban, Tish James, our AG.
Woo! I'm a big fan of her. Yes.
And I believe it was somebody else. I can't remember. We just put them in the window. We just put our pictures in the window. So there's a few people in the window. Just and my political mother, Dr. Annette Robinson, who was who have the seat that I'm now holding for 43 years.
Wow.
God
So
bless her. God bless her.
you stepped into some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah, she vetted me, she sought me, and she still just loves on me and directs me. So I'm appreciative.
Excellent. And so before we get into more of what you're doing and your message to our viewers, we want to switch over, and we have another young lady here with us, a doctor who's going to introduce herself and her district that she's responsible for as well. Can you flip the camera over, please? So just one moment. All right.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Kim Bess, and I reside and live in the 56th district. I am a community advocate for 56 years and well represented with the 79th Precinct Community Council as president, chairman for Brooklyn Hospital Advisory Board, CEO of Healing Hearts Chaplaincy, and a consultant for Best Consulting and Strategy, just to name a few.
Ooh, that is super impressive.
Right?
That means you started when you were 2 years old, because you look absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Came right out the moon.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Bess, if you give us just a moment, we're going to jump back to our district leader, because we want to make sure that we touch on your primary concerns. We know you have a tight schedule this evening, so you're going to spend a little time with us, and then we're going to let you go to your next pressing engagement. So, Rickie James, I like the sound of my voice. We're going to let you lead with a little conversation, tender conversation with our district leader.
District leader. I have always been in awe of Bedford-Stuyvesant. I have always been with the people, the community. I have done construction in Bedford-Stuyvesant. There is a milk foundry on Atlantic Avenue that we built a high-rise behind that milk foundry. We are proud of that in Bedford-Stuyvesant. The group running that issue was called Preserve East New York, but it was in Bedford-Stuyvesant on the border. So I would like to know, construction-wise, what is it that we can do for Bedford-Stuyvesant in the future, coming up with what they have in the political arena for this Mandami era.
So I think the question that my colleague is posing, if you had a perfect wish, right? And I know you have a lot, because we already mentioned there are quite a few concerns that you have for your district. But if you could, let's say, imagine one project, right? A gifted project. If Rickie James could give you anything, what would you probably like to see? Construction-wise, something that built within your district or improved in your district that hasn't been done. Because I know you have a lot of small businesses,
Right.
You have a lot of underrepresented individuals, especially your youth. Maybe they don't have somewhere to go. If we could magically make some type of building or function appear, what would you like to see?
Community organizations,
All right,
Well, I am a community organizer.
Okay.
So the first thing I would want to do in my brain is analyze, strategize, and implement. Finding what exactly is necessary so that I can make the community better. So when I'm thinking about it, as you're asking the question, I think about safety and justice.
Yeah.
I think about economic development. I think about health and wellness. I think about my youth. And I think about unification.
Yes.
So those are the the main,
Very true, dear.
those are the main things I think about when you ask me that question. Number one, I think about training my youth
Yeah.
Right.
and partnering with construction companies so that we can employ our youth.
They have that in Park Slope, training facility to join in and learn how to knock a hammer.
Certain trades
Yes.
that
So
they need, essential.
So ironically, and you guys, this is a live stream. I literally met these two amazing people 30 seconds before we started the stream.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you are reelected, because I believe in speaking into the future what we want. I had a conversation. So I have a small business with a consulting in, and one of the things that I'm doing with my small businesses is stressing the importance of becoming minority certified.
Right.
Within your district. So I have 13 companies under my wing that I'm taking through the certification process. But I have one construction company, Caswell Powell Enterprise LLC, that has 3 certifications so far. So we certified with New York State, New York City, and Port Authority for New York and New Jersey. And one of the things that he said to me today is that he is looking to use his small business as a stepping stone to help our youth, our underemployed youth, our many individuals in the community who are unemployed now,
Right.
whether they're part of those 600,000 women who don't have jobs, right? Or our men who may be underemployed or retired from one industry. So when you are reelected, I would love to come and visit you and arrange an opportunity for some of the constituents within your district
Yeah.
to spend a day at this small business, trying to see if it's a trade that they want. I actually am doing that with one constituent in District 56 already. His name is on the list
Wow.
for the next project. It's a
Amazing.
23-year-old young adult. So
Mm.
that is my promise, and we can do that even before the election happens. But I think that's a great idea. I think there's not enough people within any district who understand the importance of their district leaders or their council members or their assembly members, right? So many times we hear people say, my vote doesn't count, so I just don't vote.
Yep.
Right. And I always combat that because I'm outside.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I don't have my clone sitting here with me right now. I'm just joking.
Right.
So even with that being said, right, I think it's more so people forget our assembly incident are normally half the year in Albany and half the week in
Right.
Albany. So that's why they have us.
Mhm.
We have our Congress members in DC. We have our council who are on the ground, but they're still legislators. All of them are legislators working hard for us, right? And that's why we are the bridge, if you will, making sure that the community and the electeds stay connected. And so they call us the connectors. That's what we are. We are the connectors. And making sure that our community, they're not neglected. No one's neglected.
Mhm.
We may miss the ball on certain things, right?
Right. We're
Because
human.
we're human, right? But it's important for people to understand even our service, and with all the things that we're doing, we are human.
So Duke is trying to gesture to remind you that the camera's there. I don't
Yes,
know why you
I
just don't
wasn't-
speak.
I didn't do it before, so I made sure that I started looking over there when you started getting up. I appreciate that.
That's okay. I don't know why he just doesn't speak, but whatever.
But and also just to go back to
Connectors.
what you were saying.
Question
before.
on connectors.
Okay, let her finish her
Go
thought.
right
I know
ahead.
you're excited.
Go right ahead.
I'm excited to have her here.
It just jumped on me. Connectors, Sajam. No.
I appreciate it. Yes, I want to just mention we can actually connect a little bit earlier than the election for the construction because I have a nonprofit by the name of Future Generations Entrepreneurship and Leadership Foundation.
I love
And
that.
so it's been around for several years. It started when my daughter was 3 years old. I teach entrepreneurship and leadership and financial literacy to 3 years old and up. But
3 years.
our flagship program right now starts at the age of 11, 12 years old, like middle school and high school.
Oh, we're best friends now. You know, Kenésha.
So it's very important. We are currently, actually tomorrow, we're having a huge fundraiser for our program, From the Park to the Pros, where we teach skill-based training to our youth, male and female, because we are taking them to compete in Ethiopia with
Oh my
our
goodness.
league out there.
Yeah,
So
I love that. So
I'm
that's
excited about that. I
So
wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
Yeah, so-
the
That's right.
basketball was my backyard in Bed-Stuy, so I can see what you're doing there.
Yes.
So 1 second. You said something that was very profound and you just stuck it right in there, but let's be direct. So our district leader, and before we say that, I learned recently that district leaders aren't salaried.
Right.
That you all are doing this genuinely from the heart.
Yes.
So I don't know, did you guys hear that? District
I've learned
leaders,
that.
district
I learned that
leaders.
with Mr. Rice.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was Anthony Beckford
Yeah.
who was here.
Way back.
District
I was with my
leader
brother
from 43.
yesterday. Yep.
Yes, he was here a couple of weeks ago. So I want you all to think about that again. Think about your cost of living, what you do in your life, and your 9 to 5. And then understand that everything that our district leader from District 56, Kanèsha, Traynham-Cooper, has shared with us, she's doing that from her heart. So she just shared her nonprofit. Could you tell us again the name of the nonprofit and how people can make donations?
Sure. So the name of the nonprofit is for Future Generations Entrepreneurship and Leadership Foundation, and we are located online from the park to the pros. Specifically, you can look us up. Please add us. We're started this new program. This is last year. It opened. I would say, as far as donations, you can make a check out to Future Generations, the number 4 Future Generations Entrepreneurship and Leadership Foundation.
Excellent.
Also, we are Zephy. You can find us on Zephy. You can find us on GoFundMe. We are raising funds to take our youth to have a global experience. We're also right now collecting sneakers to take out there for our youth as a social service project.
Have you connected with the nonprofit From the Soul? That's his name.
That's Andre, right?
Yeah, Andre.
I haven't connected since recently with him.
Okay.
Years ago when he first started, I knew him, but I don't mind reconnecting.
So Andre, I haven't talked to you lately either.
But he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
Yes. But when you say you're collecting sneakers, he's the first person who comes to my mind. Also, I want to say in terms of online presence, sounds like your nonprofit just started doing your thing on social media within the last year. So I would love to use my platform to collaborate with you as well, to put you in front of all of my followers.
But the nonprofit been around for a long time.
Yes.
Since my daughter.
Oh,
she's actually an entrepreneur. She's my walking billboard.
Oh, awesome. So you're getting so many things here today, and I know you have to push out. Is there anything else that you want to share with our group, with our viewers?
Well, yes. So I wear several hats. I'm also the manager of external affairs for One Brooklyn Health, Interfaith, Brookdale, and Kingsbrook Hospitals. So we are having a clergy breakfast coming up soon.
I think I saw you when AACEO
Yes.
was there recently. I know who you are.
Yes.
You know, I know I look 21, y'all, but I'm a little bit older.
That's
Sometimes
right, girl.
it takes a minute. So,
That's
and
right.
for those of you who aren't familiar with AACEO, that's African American Clergy and Elected Officials. I've been attending their meetings and actually heartbroken that I had to be somewhere else for their most recent meeting. Oh my goodness!
It was absolutely amazing.
And someone who was on my other on another platform, the Reset Talk Show, he was talking about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was supposed to be there. That was supposed to be a powerful breakfast. So once again, we're definitely BFFs. So now I remember I have a lot of stuff going on as well.
And I'm a proud member of ACPO as well.
Yeah, I have to pay my dues. I have been.
Good luck with your transfer, your connection to the basketball program for the boys and girls. It sounds like a promising event and an initiative. I kind of like that.
I think that means that when she does something with them, you're going to show up in person and share some of your expertise.
I would love to.
That would be great.
Okay.
My youth will love it, especially our youth who are interested in construction or building or anything like that. I also spoke to Local 79 as well, so that, I can connect my youth with the right people. And that's really what this is. They need mentorship. They need sponsorship. They need all the things and tools, especially transferable skills, to make sure that they are heading in the right direction. And that's what I want to make sure that my kids, and all of them are my kids.
Right. Your entire district. So this is lovely. Once again, in District 56, we want to make sure that you guys are ready to vote. If you have any questions, you're going to reach out to your district leader.
I can give my number as well.
Okay. There you go.
My number is 929-304-5000. Again, that's 929-304-5000. My email is districtleaderktcooper@gmail.com. Again, that's districtleaderktcooper@gmail.com. You can call me anytime. There's so many different people in my district who call me at any time. After 12, before 6 a.m., anytime, right?
just understand, I want to set the precedent here to let you know, you can call anytime and there's voicemail, right? So leave a detailed message. And actually, this is another God's gift that I'm going to talk to you about. In your district, I recently, so I have an affinity for helping the elderly, right? And recently there was an incident at the McDonald's on Fulton Street, and I think that's true, that involved a senior who fell. And this was moments after I had alerted security to have them clean up a spill. And when they told management was slow. A senior came. Unfortunately, he fell. I immediately called 911. The EMTs came. They were excellent. Have helped him get a lawyer. But I wanted to, and he texted me again today, I wanted to put him in touch with the, now that I know you, district leader, but I wanted him to go into the assembly member office or the city council office, because I also want to make sure that these contingency attorneys are not taking advantage of him. Because, attorneys will come out of the woodwork, they'll represent you for that 33%. And he was actually really hurt. He had to go to the emergency room. So that is something I will reach out to your office about.
And Vita, we have legal clinics as well.
Okay,
so,
excellent.
So if anyone is interested or need advice, we have a legal team on site as well. I'm also a part of the judicial committee for the Kings County Democrats as well.
Okay, so again, when you all start seeing the district leader and you wonder why I'm connected to him, this is why. So we're gonna do a slight transition. Is there anything else you want to say before you leave? And this is live, and unfortunately, we're going to, there's no way to cut the live and continue. So when you let us know that you're ready, we're gonna swing to the doctor to take you out of the film while you walk past. I know you guys think we're in one of these studios in Manhattan, but we're 10 toes down in Brooklyn, so we're actually in a beautiful brownstone sitting in the living room, right? That is Black owned, and don't forget that part.
That's right. Well, I would like to say, again, people, you know who I am. Again, my name is Kenésha Traynham-Cooper. I have been serving in this capacity for the past 5 years, and I love what I do. I love my community. One thing I can say is that some people lead with wanting power, I lead with wanting to do service and love. Very simple.
I love that. I love that. And, you know, I have this saying that I often say, some people lead with fear and some people lead with respect. And it's very clear to me that your community respects you, right? And so that is huge. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Would you like to wish her well? Any tricky questions you're trying to try to relax?
No, I'm gonna keep my trick question when she's elected. And
he's serious.
I'm gonna wait till you're in Albany. I'm gonna get you there.
That's fine. You know what? You have my number now, so you can call me before then. I'm here. Anytime, right?
So let's swing the camera over to the doctor for a close up. Focus directly on her so that our district leader can leave the space a little bit more for me, please, so we can let her out, and then you can just exit this way.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, don't forget. Okay.
Doctor, I don't know if you want to stay there, if you want to move in. Actually, if you move over to the right, you can be in the camera view directly with look at this. I'll move this over. Oh. Okay, there you go. Okay. I'm gonna swing right here. Or maybe not. This is a little harder than I thought. Playing with these levels. You can straighten it up.
Be careful.
I know, sit back down. That'll make us go viral if I fall out of the chair. So he's going to remove one microphone because now you have the large mic. Okay. Do you need a water or anything?
No.
Okay.
Go bathroom.
Yeah. That's hard.
I actually put everything over on the side.
Uh-oh. Is that me doing the feedback? I moved the mic. Okay. So for those who may have forgotten, could you do us a favor and just introduce yourself a little bit again so that we can, you have to zoom out so you can get everybody in. I have to move over like that. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Dr. Kim Best.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Kim Best, and I am a community advocate. I wear several different titles. I've been doing community advocacy for about 56 years. Yes, I did start at a very young age, and my stepping stone was Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. And that's where I started out in community. And community has been in my lifetime stream for so many years. I am also the president of the 79th Precinct Community Council. I've been with the NYPD for 38 years. I've actually been with Brooklyn Hospital Advisory Board for about 18 years. And then I have my own organizations, Power Women and Community Building. I am the CEO of that organization, which focuses on building communities and helping to mentor powerful women in position. And another entity of mine is the Chaplaincy, CEO of the Healing Hearts Chaplaincy, which as of date, we have about 400 chaplains throughout the different states and across the board, and of course, New York City. And our specialty is prison ministry, hospice, community, and hospital.
Excellent. Can you pull the camera back toward like the door so that you can get us all in at the same time? I feel like this is not enough. There you go. Now if you turn it just a little bit, now you can get all three of us. Turn the camera so the doctor can be in it. A little bit more. I'm gonna lean toward Rickie like we're friends. There you go. Okay, excellent.
Question.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Yes.
Restoration. Bedford-Stuyvesant. What particular issue in restoration? Is that construction? Is that remodeling? Designing?
I think she was talking
complete
about the renovations, right?
renovations, yes.
Yeah, there's renovations, but when you say Bedford-Stuyvesant restoration, because I started out in the 70s,
Right,
I was one of the originals,
right.
right? At an
Hard
early age.
homes,
No, I worked in the community centers.
community.
I came out
Very
of
good.
community centers. There were 5 community centers, and the community centers, they controlled the community. They had a lot of resources in the community centers. And if you remember, the Kennedys were the ones that kind of
Yes.
implemented
Yes, like I
the
mentioned,
Bedford-Stuyvesant restoration.
Really?
So-
I did not know that. I
Yes.
wasn't born and raised in New York City. I'm
Oh.
a transplant. I pretend very well.
Sports,
Yeah.
he had a uniformed sports team
Yes.
coming out of the community centers.
And
So I
not only the
remember
sports
playing
teams,
against-
you had a lot of different resources. And
Resources,
now,
yeah.
just recently, they was talking about the
PAL.
PAL.
Yep.
They was talking about the potholes in New York City.
Right.
Okay, that was my job once upon a time.
Resources, yeah.
Walking down the streets,
Restoration.
counting the potholes, giving in those reports.
Oh my goodness.
So
Practice-
restoration was
practice,
into a lot of different entities.
That seems extremely tedious.
Well, it was. I didn't like it, at that young age.
Mhm.
And then when you mentioned sports, they had a baseball team,
Yep.
which I was part of that. And I worked with a lot of very good people in restoration. Of course, a lot of them are gone,
Mhm.
and now, but at present, I think restoration is getting ready to be renovated.
Yes.
Certain parts of it.
Mhm.
They're going to put some housing, from what I was told, and this a whole major renovation. I'm not really sure as to where they will begin the renovations.
And that's fine. We don't have to speak about particulars or specifics because the internet will come back and bite you. So
Yes,
we don't want to get
yes,
anyone in
yes.
trouble. We just want to have an idea of your history in the community. And I have to tell you, I am super impressed because a lot of people who are, I would say, the bricks of what is happening today, a lot of people are not still involved, right?
Well,
and-
yes, yeah, but a lot of your leadership is gone.
Yes.
And my focus
Mhm.
coming up from leadership,
Mhm.
like the Shirley Chisholm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I was one of her mentees.
Really?
Yes, I was one of her mentees. And coming up through the ranks, most of all of our leadership is gone. So what we need to do, and one of the things that I do a lot of mentoring with a lot of young professionals.
Excellent.
And because we need to pass that baton.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be here forever. None of us is going to be forever.
Right.
And we have to set that foundation back like it once was so that we can have the leadership. Most of our leaders that's in place, I hate to tell you this, they don't even stay for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had Dr. Van.
they use it as I would imagine, a stepping stone to get to another position.
You have Dr. Annette Robinson. They've been here 40, 50 years.
Do you know Dr. D. Bailey?
Yes, I know her. I'm part of the AACEO.
Well, that's where I've seen you from. Too.
Yes.
Okay.
I move in different circles, right?
And
I just different
that's
circles. So I was there just last week. They had a very wonderful program.
I know.
It was really great. And I was, she was thankful that I was there. And then I worked with the NYPD very closely.
And that's good. And I'm not asking you to speak on it right now. I'm not sure the district number. There recently was a viral video on social media of a gentleman who seemed to be a member of the senior community, who was attempting to make a purchase in a local wine shop. I think this is down off of Court Street, down in that area, Brooklyn Heights, over there. And allegedly there was an incident where someone had made a drug sale. And it just so happened that senior gentleman was wearing similar clothing. And,
Mistaken identity.
right. And unfortunately, those detectives who interacted with him are now off. I think they're on light work while there's an investigation because there was an excessive amount of physical exchange with him that left him really hurt. And one of the things that I see on social media is that there's not enough conversation and dialogue, visuals of people like yourself who have positive interactions with NYPD without being an actual NYPD officer, right? And so I'm happy to have you on the platform to kind of talk about, if you want to share kind of some of the things that you've
I
done.
can basically share a lot to the public. Number one is educating the community.
Right.
We as community, we need to be educated, right? Will you have those type of instances? Yes, you will. But you, like in anything else, you have good police. You have those ones that slip through the crack.
Right.
And those are the ones that slip through the crack we have to really take a hold of,
Mhm.
right? I can say from my point of view, we have a lot of good officers.
And I would agree.
We
I
have a
friends
lot of
who
good
are
officers. And all it takes is one or two to mess up for everything.
Yes.
And I think that's just like the
Yeah.
same thing with the community, right? You
Yeah.
have a lot of constituents, people within the community who are law-abiding citizens or, undocumented workers, a lot of people.
Mhm.
There's always going to be a negative amount of individuals as long as people have free thought, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'd like our community to do is try to work together to focus on the positive, but yet still hold, those bad actors, those bad characters accountable without just blanketing everyone.
So that is one of the reasons why you have people like myself to mentor these these young individuals. I've dealt with gangbangers. I've dealt with drug dealers. Just knowing who I am, and just having those conversations. You understand? And but this is our society. This is what happens. And it's not just here, but it's all
It's
over,
everywhere.
all around the world.
Absolutely.
And we see it. We listen to the news. We see what's happening. But it's our responsibility in our communities is to teach one, and one can teach others.
That's
Each
right.
one
Each
teach
one
one.
teach
Yes.
one. Yes.
And that's very, very important because that was the teaching that I had the privilege of having coming up as a very young preteen or however you want to call it, 12 years old,
Mhm.
working working in a community setting and so forth. And I've taught a lot of young people. I've been their mentors. I won't give anyone's name
Right.
because it's kind of confidential.
Right. And that's
but
that's
but-
important.
Yeah, and even some older adults as well. So and that's basically is just understanding, because at the end of the day, all of us are human beings.
Absolutely.
Okay, even when we look at our jobs.
Right.
I used to always wonder, why would they put somebody in humans and human resources
That has
that
no
don't have
humanity.
a personality?
Exactly.
Why would you put somebody in human resources that don't have a personality?
Well, I learned the hard way that many people who work in human resources are not there for the employees. They are there to protect the business. But that's why we have companies like the
It's called the EEO.
EEOC, right?
Mhm.
Or the New York Commission of Human Rights.
I was a member of that. I represented that for an agency that I worked for.
Really, the EEOC or the
Yeah,
New
I
York-
was, in each agency, they assign people to participate and be selected for that agency.
Excellent,
So
like a liaison.
a lead, well, that's what I was, a liaison.
Excellent.
That was another part of my responsibilities.
Advocate.
advocating and stuff and so forth.
Well, that is amazing. So you have brought a wealth of information to us with all of your background. I want to ask you a question. It may or may not be difficult to answer, but for a young person or even a person in midlife who's looking for career change, for someone who's listening to you and they're inspired and they would like to do what you're doing, do you have any advice for them?
Well, yes. First of all, one of the first things you want to do is do an assessment, a simple assessment of the individual. Get to know what they like. I remember having a conversation with a gang member, and I had to get into his world to understand what he was seeking and so forth, and we had a very great understanding. And the good thing about it, I was able to get him out of the gang life so that he can continue doing what he needed to do as a young individual.
And
and just remember, you won't be able to help everyone, but if you help at least one person,
that's all it takes.
Then you have done wonders. And that's really key and important. So my suggestion to young people, find out what it is that you really want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do at this point, then you connect with someone like a mentor, like someone you look up to, and you have a conversation, and try to do the right thing. Sometimes people hook up with the wrong type of people, and that may not be so good.
And so it's not, for people who are watching, it's not always easy to determine when a person who's trying to coach you or lead you down a path is not actually leading you down a good path, right? And so one of the things we want to say is that don't be afraid to reach out to your New York City or New York State city agencies, because at least if you go into a structured environment, there's a greater chance that someone won't lead you astray. If you go into an environment, someone working within the centers or nonprofits, there's a lot of different ways to get the help or direction that you want. And so with that said, Dr. Best, if someone watching wanted to reach out to you directly, how could they find you?
Well, my number is very much listed, but my contact information is 917-864-8170.
Excellent. And let's just say that one more time and take note. She has a 917 number. She's an original New Yorker. I have one too. I pretend and check out my co-host who is taking the number right now. That's what you should be doing, right? So can you repeat it for us one more time? And this is Dr. Kim Best.
Yes. My number is 917-864-8170. And I'd just like to add also, I am very much international.
Okay.
I am a former international governor.
Oh,
and I also a chief apostle for world religions, which cover 22 countries.
Amen.
And of course, I have a podcast called Community Views.
And so, hey, Community Views, I want to come on there too.
But this is what it's all about: networking, getting the opportunity to meet people as such, and just partnership. I love the opportunity of getting to know what others do, and it's in my blood.
Well, okay. We have our founder, Duke Saunders, who is off camera. I saw him pick up a microphone 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times while he was speaking.
Look at them.
I feel like he wants to say something, even if he wants to just pay gratitude for you being here. I get a little miffed that he's behind the camera. We can't get him in front of the camera. But is there something that you would like to say to Dr. Kim Best from behind the camera?
Well, Dr. Best, thank you for coming on to Community Cuts. We've known each other for years. And I do know that.
I don't. You can speak up because I can barely hear you. I made them put on the air conditioner, you guys.
Okay. To work for the UN.
Yes, I did work for the UN.
Yes.
I was a representative for that. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big to do.
So my first contract, when I first came to New York, I worked for New Horizons Computer Learning Center, and yeah, that's how I started in training. I wish I had not done as well as I did, or I would have gone back to school at Drexel. I took a year off and came here. But one of the first places that they sent me was the United Nations.
Yes.
And I remember walking through the gate with all the flags, and the most memorable part, because the training was downstairs, underground, the lower level, was going into the cafeteria and seeing all the representatives from different countries in their garb, and the stations that had food from different countries, and sitting there and hearing all these languages. And I was like, I love New York. This is amazing. It's like, I can't believe I'm here. But so that is amazing. And to speak to your international worldliness, I have had the opportunity. I'm from a blended family, so both of my parents are remarried, and my mother and stepfather have worked in Kenya, Saudi Arabia, Europe, where else? The Philippines. They've been to many places, and we used to, whenever there was a family trip, whenever there was a project and it ended, as a family, we would go there. And so for myself in tech, my last full-time position, I worked in Tokyo, Singapore, Beijing, and at the end of 2019, one of my clients hired me, and we went to Nigeria. And so,
I am a Nigerian queen too.
Are you?
And soon to be a queen in Ghana.
So there's a lot to talk about, because when the person who took me to Nigeria, my client, we went several weeks before that. Was my first trip to Dubai. She currently is in Ghana, and she had a running joke that her husband was going to be the richest man on the planet, or the richest man from Africa. I can't think of his name right now, but it's like one of those running jokes. And also here in New York, I don't know if you're familiar with Amarachi, the Adewumis. So Joseph Adewumi, who I'm very, very close with, he is, his parents were doctors, and so they've taken the hospital that his parents used to work in and converted it to a luxury hotel. And so he's going to be taking, he wants to take African Americans back home so they can experience it.
That's been a discussion for a minute.
Yes. And I also have a client who does travel, and she's taking a large group to Kenya and Tanzania this summer. So the one thing that I love about Community Cuts, you're very humble in your demeanor with all of your experience. And so today, we have 2 new people that we're going to be locked in with, right, Rickie? And I recently renewed my driver's license, and next week I'm going to renew my passport for a lot of reasons. But this administration, I don't want to be caught anywhere without valid ID.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, they're planning for my departure. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, to Ghana. And I belong to the Ghana Way. I'm an ambassador right here for Central Brooklyn.
That's awesome. My friend that's in Ghana, she's helped quite a few people get their citizenship in Ghana since they opened it.
They have dual citizenship.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah. A lot of people do. She packed up all her stuff and she just moved over there. And I was like, well, you're brave. My other show has a great connection with Guyana, which is like in South America. So, This has been so exciting, and just like our district leader who was here, I want to make sure we allow you to get out anything else that you want for our viewers to know, or how to reach you. Is there a project you're working on that you can use
Well,
their
actually, I'm also part of Community Board 3.
Okay,
I chair the senior committee because I'm a senior.
okay. You
Right.
don't look like it.
Yeah, I'm a senior,
Okay.
and we're getting ready to do something in June for the seniors to do like it's like a resource, a dinner, and I've done a couple of the dinners in the past 3
Okay.
years
Okay.
with Community Board 3. So I do a lot of stuff with seniors. I provide a lot of resources. So like I said, I wear different hats, and the hardest thing is to talk about yourself.
It is.
It's the hardest thing, but when people see me and I have conversations, and I'm a child advocate for children,
Okay.
advocate for people with special needs
Special
and
needs.
disabilities. So, and that's good because that's all about community.
And that's the interesting point. You have a lot of people nowadays under this new regime who talk about community, but they're only speaking about a portion of the community.
Yes.
And, it's interesting. On my way to meet you all, I was late because on 34th Street there was a Free Palestine march, and so they had the roadways blocked. It was peaceful, and I was filming, and there was a gentleman in the march. He said to me, "Don't be scared. Make sure you post that." And I said, "Yeah, I am gonna post it. I'm running to do a podcast, and afterwards I'll collaborate with my podcast to kind of share the message." But it's interesting that we live in a world where you feel like you have to be so careful what you engage with,
You do.
because depending on the subject matter, you automatically isolate someone else, or you hurt this person.
Yeah.
And so,
That's why you have to be open to all different nationalities.
right, and
I
that's what
have a
New York
great,
is.
I have a great relationship with the Jewish community,
Mhm.
a great relationship with the Arabic,
Mhm.
great relationship with the Spanish,
Mhm.
the Asian.
Mhm.
I deal with these people all the time, and then I send food and resources to the various countries. Venezuela, all these different countries, because we've been doing that for a couple of years. Shoes, clothing, making sure, and at the end of the day, we all have to work together. We all come from different walks of life and everything, and we have to work together.
But they're just as human as the next one.
Exactly.
There is no
Exactly.
And
disregard.
I think that is an excellent way to end our show today.
Yes.
And that was a proverbial mic drop, as they say. You guys, this has been so enlightening. And I also have to acknowledge you are absolutely right, because at this point, the back of my body is turning into an ice cube with the air conditioning. But you're comfortable, correct, Doctor?
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm comfortable as well. Thank you, Duke. Would you like to close us out, Duke, with your voice? Excellent.
All right.
His voice is coming now. He's got to play some music first. So he's listening to the music in his head, but our mics are still hot. So be careful what you're saying.
Another episode of Community Cuts BK. Our lovely guests, both of them, awesome. Like I always say, Brooklyn, Kings County is in the house. And much love to Brooklyn. Much love. I want to thank our host, Donnatella C, for MyHungryWorld, and Rickie James. Thank you both.
And we have to thank Dr. Kim Best, because she's still here on camera with us.
And Donnatella reminded me, Dr. Kim Best.
That is voice.
Kim Best.
Right.
Bed-Stuy is in the house.
Absolutely.
I know, and the mic is still hot, so be careful. Until you see that go off, there's always like another 3 or 4 minutes.
Yes.
This is wonderful. Next time, do